All right, Jenna in Atlanta, how are you?
Iron Man reference.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Long-time watcher, first-time caller, blah, blah, blah. I was curious about your opinion for the near political future. I'm about to come out of college with my bachelor's degree, and I'm curious to know whether or not you think it would be possible in the next 30 or so years for an atheist to be elected to a political office, a high-ranking political office.
How high?
Like,
You want to be president?
oh, hell no, but maybe Congress.
That's already. Wait a minute. Is there some? Is it the
Yeah, I
guy in
don't-
the House or the Senate? Who's
Pete
who's
Stark-
in the
Pete-
House?
Pete
Either
Stark didn't
one,
get
do you
reelected.
think that there will
But he
be
was.
more than, say, 5 or 6 atheists within Congress, you know?
Oh, I guarantee you there already are. It's whether or not they're actually out.
Well, that's
then-
what I mean. Do you think the political, sphere we've got right now would allow for
Yeah.
outed atheists to be elected?
Yeah, since we've already had outed atheists elected, Pete Stark did get reelected, although he didn't get reelected this last time. But there's no reason to think that had anything to do with his religious beliefs. So we've already seen it happen. And there was a poll that came out last year that for the first time, more than 50% of people polled would actually vote for a qualified atheist for president. So we're seeing things change, and the not religiously affiliated are increasing much more rapidly than the religiously affiliated. I've said before, unfortunately, we've kind of got to wait for a generation to die off, or maybe 2 or maybe 10, before we see massive changes. But we're seeing good changes. And I think that you could probably, if you started now, running for a local office of some type to gain the requisite experience, I think there's no reason I couldn't see you as an out atheist in the House or the Senate or even in the White House if you wanted.
Well, I don't think I'd take on that stress, but thanks for your time.
And one
whatnot.
and one more thing on the flip side, deciding now that you don't think that atheism is going to be a viable option for a successful political candidate in future, and therefore choosing to hide your atheism so that you can be successful in politics, that move will not contribute to a world where atheists can be successful in politics.
Yeah.
You have that choice, right? You can do what you need to do to get what you want in life. You have to make the choices that are smart for you. But if you care about helping the world become that kind of place where it's safe for atheists, then being out and open about it is the thing to do.
Well, of course. I mean, if I did end up trying to go for a political office, I would do it as an outed atheist. But the reason I brought up the question is because I saw a study that was done a little while ago that said that atheists were the most distrusted group, especially here in the United States. So I was curious to see if you thought that might change.
We recently rated higher than Christian fundamentalists. Is that right?
Awesome.
There have been a series of these things. I might be getting that wrong. It might be right-wing conservatives.
Yeah, the study
one of those groups.
The study that you're talking
We
about.
scored like number 2, right above them.
Yeah, the study that Jen is talking about, we've cited several times. It's a few years old. It's probably fairly accurate in certain demographics. The one that said that more than 50% would vote for a qualified atheist for president, that one is relatively new and makes me cautiously optimistic. But the other thing is that doing it as an out atheist, while I'm don't me wrong, I'm not discouraging anybody from be out, yay, do stuff as out, but there's no religious test for any public office or trust guaranteed by the Constitution. So they're not technically supposed to even ask you about religion. And so what it is just be honest, and if it comes up, which it will. But if it doesn't, which is the world I'd like to see, the world where people running for office, we don't, ask them, whether or not they believe in this God thing. Instead, we ask them about what their positions are on reality. And you can weed out kind of the supernatural crowd, the people who don't use reason and evidence to make decisions, without asking them the question about a God. At least not as a test. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's perfectly valid to look at somebody and judge whatever it is they happen to say about their beliefs to determine whether or not they're qualified for office. Every individual, as an individual, you can say, no, I'm not going to vote for, a theist or this type of theist or any of those things.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want there.
Yeah, well, that would be the ideal, is if that weren't a necessary requirement right now, sociologically speaking. But anyway, thank you for your time, and y'all have a nice day.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, Jenna. Good luck.